All right, guys, I need you to buckle in because I'm about to be in full Pixel fanboy mode. All right, let's be honest. I've been seeing a lot of negative articles and a lot of negative commentary on Pixels, especially now that we're getting closer to the launch of the Pixel 11. And at first, I even was a part of that. For good reason. I have a video, I'll pop it up there, about why I might switch. But I started doing a little bit more research. I started thinking a little bit more about the upgrades coming to the Pixel 11 because it really seems small. It doesn't seem like a lot. But I was getting curious because some of the stuff I was seeing, it stood out to me, right? And I'm going to talk about why I'm getting excited for the Pixel 11. And it has to do with its performance, but not in the way you think. All right, so let's get out the way. It's not going to match the Snapdragon or the A20 chip when it comes to raw performance, but that's okay. And in fact, Google would be stupid to start off trying to match that performance. I need you to sit with that for a second. We keep wondering why Google hasn't increased the performance. Well, what are the biggest issues with Pixels? Let's be realistic. Yeah, the performance is subpar, but the true reason for that is actually something a little bit hidden, right? And I'm gonna sound like I'm hating on Samsung, but a portion of it's Samsung's fault. Two reasons. In the earlier days, the Exynos base was not great for pixel tensor. But the most recent issue, don't mind my computer making weird noises, but the most recent issue is the modem. The Samsung modem is incredibly inefficient to the point where Samsung doesn't use it in their own phones. And in fact, what happens when you have an inefficient modem? Well, it's constantly searching for 5G and 4G networks, which causes heat. If it's inefficient, it doesn't handle heat well. What happens when a phone or a computer doesn't handle heat well, especially a computer that's 6 inches big with no real vents for thermals? Well, it gets hot. What happens when a phone gets hot or a computer gets hot? Well, because of the thermals, it has to run cooler and it has to run in an unstable manner to make sure it doesn't overheat. Do you see where I'm getting at? It's a tier, right? We keep thinking that Google just simply doesn't want to make a proper GPU because of budget. And a part of me still believes that. I do think they are still being a little bit cheap. I don't think they're ever going to go for Snapdragon level performance because they need Samsung to be king. But that modem is a big thing. If the modem cannot perform at in an efficient manner, I apologize, then the entire phone is fucked. Yeah, I know. I don't care. But the entire phone is screwed because now the phone is always trying to run hot. So at the end of the day, the GPU scores in the Pixel 11 are probably not going to be substantial. It's going to run probably not too high from what it's doing right now, but yet I'm still hopeful because on the Pixel 10 and every Pixel before that, it was always running hot with that modem. And the modem overheating causes other parts of the phone to overheat. And when they overheat, it runs poorly. You see, it doesn't sustain its performance. Now, Geekbench scores, I hate. It's a good way to see the ceiling. Most phones, even your beautiful Galaxy S26 Ultra, your Apples and all those super high-end devices will never touch that goddamn ceiling. So when people complain about benchmark scores, they're talking about something that they're never going to touch. Even people who do video exporting or gaming. What happens is because it doesn't really hit that ceiling, it's okay, it's fine. That's why Snapdragon is so great. That's why A series chips are so great. They have a very high ceiling. Pixel does not have that ceiling. I don't expect them to get that ceiling this year. But that's why it's important what I'm going to say. It makes more sense to fix the thermal issue because what's the point of having a very powerful GPU if your thermals are shit? That's where the new MediaTek modem really interests me. If you hear thunder, don't worry. I'm just making a quick video during a storm. Now, this media chip, the M90, I think, it's about a year old, but it's already tried, true, and tested. It already has great efficiency. It's really good when it comes to finding that 5G signal, and it can handle its heat and thermals a million times better than the Samsung one could. So what does that mean? Well, now your Pixel's not hunting for signal. Even when you're doing something as simple as taking a photo, running a game, it's always hunting for signal. And with the better thermals, now it's not going to run so hot. So if it's not running so hot, what's it going to do? it's going to perform at a stable level. It's going to keep its GPU and its CPU at a cool enough level that it doesn't get those stutters or those lags. It's not going to take as long for a picture to develop or process, or even gaming. You're probably going to notice this. You're going to notice in benchmark scores, I put money on this. You're going to see not that high score ceiling, but you're going to see stable use across the board. And I'm more excited for that for two reasons. One, who doesn't want a more battery efficient phone? If you get rid of the heat, if you get rid of the thermal issues, you have a more efficient phone. But if Google is successful in this endeavor, and if this MediaTek chip does exactly what Google wants and makes the thermals better, what's the next step? It's the performance. Then they can start working on increasing performance, because we have to talk about it. Why would you make a chip more powerful if you can't even handle the heat? Once a GPU gets hot, it's going to perform like dog crap. It doesn't matter how high the ceiling is. If it cannot run at decent level of thermals and heat, it's going to run like crap. So I'm getting excited because I'm realizing Google's tactics. It's probably not that they don't want to make a powerful chip. I don't see a reason why not to. But they don't want a powerful chip if they can't handle the thermals. They want to fix the thermals completely before they do that. That's my theory. That's what I'm thinking. And from everything I've seen about this MediaTek chip, it's actually going to have a bigger impact on the Pixel 11 than we think. It's going to run better, run smoother, run cooler, and run in a more stable and expected manner. You see how everybody has a different experience with the Pixel series? My battery sucks. My battery's great. Gaming sucks. My gaming's fine. Pictures are amazing. It takes too long to process. That's because of heat. When the modem is too hot, it makes the phone too hot. When the phone's too hot, the GPU, CPU is too hot, and the CPU and the GPU run everything on your phone. So if that cannot run at a sustainable level, then neither will your phone. So if Google knocks out this MediaTek modem and it actually makes the phone run at a stable, expected level, it's going to be what we need out of a Pixel. And not just for the Pixel 11, but the upcoming Pixels. Once that heat problem is solved, I see no reason why the next Pixel won't have a stronger GPU. And if they don't, yeah, then we can clearly insult them as much as we want. But as of now, I'm kind of changing my tune. I've been doing some research. I've been looking into the aspects of a phone outside of just big numbers. Stop thinking about just the numbers. Think about the overall components of a phone. A phone is more than just its GPU. And pretty sure Google knows that. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're optimistic for. Let me know if my theory makes sense. Probably look into it yourselves. And once again, thanks for letting me talk about tech. Peace.